I've dreamed about Africa for so long that you're always sort of afraid that when you actually get to do a thing, it's going to be a little disappointing somehow because you've expected too much out of it. And that wasn't true with Africa.
It has been a journey halfway around the globe to reach the game fields of Mozambique, to hunt with McLean Sporting Safaris and P.H. Alexander McLean, in pursuit of a dream and a terror, the lion.
The first trip to Africa, I hunted nothing but plains game, and it was great fun. I got to do a lot of action, a lot of shooting. And then years later, I came back again, this time on a buffalo hunt, and was successful on that one, got a decent buffalo. Then got to come back again to Namibia, where I was successful, getting a leopard, got a good-sized tom. But I've just, every time I've been here, I've enjoyed myself. Whether it's a quote-unquote successful trip. I think any trip over here is a successful trip, whether you get exactly what you came for or not. But this trip, this is the one that's really the symbol of Africa for most people, is that big male lion. And I just wish I could get one.
The first step of a lion hunt is to find the location to build the blind and hang the baits, dictated by where the lion has left his tracks.
We'll look for some nice fresh tracks, and then from there we'll find a good position to bait, try and get him on the bait, and then as soon as he's taken the bait, then we'll feed him up to try and keep him on the bait, to give us an opportunity to either walk in on him or to set up a blind and hunt him out of a blind, either early hours of the morning or late afternoon. So we're gonna hang it in this tree over here.
Okay.
And the elephants have actually used it as a rub as well.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, not on this first limb, on the second one that goes out there. And then the prevailing wind is that way. So we'll have when we go in there now, you'll see where we'd put up a blind in. It'll take a day or two to ripen up, but we'll do a drag to try and get the row.
Now, at this height, of course, leopard can still get to it, but this will keep away the dogs and the jackals and
correct, and the
smaller critters.
The pride lions, maybe a bigger female will be able to get onto the bottom parts of it, but the smaller ones won't.
But it will. It'll take a couple of days to ripen properly, right?
Yeah, you can kind of smell it now already. It's not too bad. But
well, I can smell it. I don't like it already, but the lions won't like it at all yet.
No, they'll, hopefully, the track that we saw on the road now, hopefully it'll be enough we've done quite a big drag.
Yeah.
So now when we drive the vehicle out, we'll drag this whole area again and try and get rid of our scent as well. And then, a day or two, it'll be smelling a bit better.
It'll be even better than now?
Yes, even better than now.
Lord, I don't know if I can take it.
With the lion's bait set, there's nothing left to do but wait until morning to see which bait the lion prefers.
It starts right away when you come into a camp like this, when you're going for a big cat. You're constantly out checking one bait after another bait, see if anything's hit it, if the right anything has hit it.
We're just going to check this one quickly.
Okay.
This is our first bait. There was no vultures or anything like that on it, so it should be starting to smell good and
nice and yummy.
Nice and yummy, and obviously if nothing's hit it, we'll just do another drag around it.
So that you can then make a plan to build a blind and wait over the bait to see if you can get the big lion to come in on it.
Yeah, we're coming up to it now.
Yeah, there it is.
I'll just stop here on the ridge and have a little glass. Tell me when you can see it good.
That's good.
You good?
Yeah.
Right.
But every day, the excitement starts all over again. Today is going to be the day. Today, one of the baits is going to be hit. Tonight, we're going to, this afternoon, we're going to build a blind. Tomorrow, we'll get in there before daylight. It looks like something may have taken a fresh chunk out of it.
Yeah, at the bottom there.
Yeah. You put all this stuff together in your mind. I even picture how the lion's going to come in on the bait when I see him, and it never works out that way, exactly the way I've pictured it, of course, but I still do it.
Let's go have a look.
the excitement of starting the day, of rolling out of camp when it's still dark and there's a chill in the air, and you got to bundle up a little bit to get out there and start checking these baits. There's nothing like it in the world.
Now if something comes around the bait, there'll be fresh track where he just swept up.
Dangerous Game is brought to you by Federal Premium Ammunition. Every shot counts. Blackhawk, Honor as a way of life. Weaver, tough shots, rough places. Champion, shoot better, have fun. Global Rescue, worldwide field rescue and evacuation services. Artworks Taxidermy, for the discriminating hunter. Capture the memory of your hunt for a lifetime.
In the proverb of the lion, the first time it frightens the brave man is when he sees its tracks.
That first time you see the track of the beast that you're after, that's stunning. One day we were out, and you don't exactly get complacent, but there is after a couple of days of driving and checking baits and driving and checking baits, and you see some leopard tracks and one thing and another, but you're not leopard hunting. And then one day, one of the trackers taps on the truck, and you stop and you get out, and there, about this size, is a lion track in the soft sand. This looks like, to my untrained eye, a really big cat.
Well, it is. You know, on the road, I mean, even though it is a bit of a sandy soil, I mean, just look at the indentation that he's left there.
And it is really deep. A heavy lion made that track.
That'll be a
pretty big boy.
This will be a big male.
And that just, everything stops for a moment. And it's, I mean, if it were a movie, there'd be a music cue here.
You know, we've hung a bait not too far from here.
They're focused again, everything seems a lot clearer.
So
this looks promising.
Yeah, it was that last bait that we hung yesterday afternoon.
The track was so fresh that I'm looking around to say, is he still in the area? Is he here? Is he watching us watching his track?
With tracks found on the ground, this is the place to set up the blind and wait for the lion to come in.
We're going to make the blind inside there. It's a little house on its own. Put a little bit of shade cloth over it, though. You know,
What's going on right now is over here the guys are building a blind in an already existent little bush. There's our bait about 50 yards away. This morning we came in, we saw a female leopard come in and very cautiously make her exit. So we're pretty sure that the lion's in this area, plus which we saw his track over here. So tomorrow morning, before daylight, we will be set up in here. And that will be in the dark of night when we come in. The lion could be anywhere around us. We're hoping he will be in front of us. But when it's dark like that, you never know where he is. And if things work our way, we'll be in there and he will be out here. That's if things work our way. They may not. Yeah, this is going to be fine.
It's going to be good.
It's going to be very good.
Okay.
Now it's time to pass an uneasy night, thinking of tracks and the lion that made them and waiting for the morning.
Once a tradition of man-eating is in a pride or an area or any of that, then you don't need those things of the lion being lame or without teeth or any of that sort of thing. It's just in their nature now, you know, to go for the slow ones, and that's us.
Especially the ones with a lot of fat on them. That's me.
Well, then I should go out with you more often.
The comfort of a campfire in the African night is left behind now, for the hunters to go out and find the way in the dark to the blind.
The plan is to come in before daylight and very slowly and cautiously and from a long way away go in on foot to that blind. And you stop all along the way here's a good place to stop and glass. We can see the bait tree from here. And you go a little bit further, and here's another place. We'll glass from here as well. All of this stuff is meticulously planned out. But I must say that getting out of the truck and loading up, and as quiet as you possibly can make it, everything sounds like it's being amplified. You open the bolt of the rifle very slowly so as not to make any noise, but the little bit of noise there seems to almost echo, like it's so loud, and sounds that you would never notice before. Your foot touching down on the earth, even though it doesn't move anything or break anything, it makes a sound that you didn't notice before. But when you're out there in the dark, beginning to approach an animal that could quite easily kill you and eat you, and not necessarily in that order, it is not for the faint of heart. Let's just put it that way.
The second time the brave man's frightened by the lion is when he hears its roar. That sound reaching the blind.
Part of you desperately wants to see the lion on the bait, and part of you is glad that you didn't, because you're safe for another few minutes. It's the strangest mixture of feeling. But we'd been listening to the lions call to each other off to our left and slightly ahead of us. And then the light was just good enough to be able to see, and there's a cat. It's the wrong cat. It's a leopard, and a female at that. But still, there was a cat out there. It gives you a wonderful feeling that something exciting is going to happen because the bait worked. The bait pulls something in.
A century ago, Teddy Roosevelt called the .405 his medicine gun for lions. Today, modern ammunition like Federal Premium is a vast improvement over that. But the bullet still needs to go into the right place, or the lion will win the fight.
A friend of mine, Peter Chipman, whom I hunted with, had it happen to him, where he and a client were following up a lion that had been shot. Lion came, everybody unloaded, and it still got him, nailed him. Fortunately, one of the places that had been shot evidently broke its jaw, and he wasn't able to really bite down because he was trying to chew Peter's legs. And the client managed to shoot the thing off Peter. But, and that's nasty. That's a close call. And you can't help but have things like that in the back of your mind when you start going into that thick stuff. You try to push it out because you don't want the fear controlling you. But it's there. It's always there. That's one of the things that's so exciting about this kind of hunting. Isn't that weird? We do this on purpose.
Dangerous Game is brought to you by Federal Premium Ammunition. Every shot counts. Blackhawk, Honor as a way of life. Weaver, tough shots, rough places. Champion, shoot better, have fun. Global Rescue, worldwide field rescue and evacuation services. Artworks Taxidermy, for the discriminating hunter. Capture the memory of your hunt for a lifetime.
The third time the hunter fears the lion is when he first sees it.
One particular day, one of the trackers spotted lion print.
This is his one hind leg. His head stretched out. There's his other hind leg. And that's obviously when he's got up, he's pushed out soil. And then this is when he was lying down.
Mm-hmm.
There's his two toe marks there.
Yeah.
So he's pushed to get up, I mean. Yeah, stretched out. Yeah, call it roughly 3 meters.
Yeah, that'll do.
No, he's a big lion. Okay,
Let's go see.
let's go, come on.
And so it was decided that we would try and figure out where they had gone. So we started to track these particular lions.
A lot of vultures over there, so maybe he's made a kill over there.
A big kill, I would think, with that many in the air.
Yeah.
And the more we got into it, the more apprehension I had, because it started getting thicker and thicker, and I couldn't see very far into anything. And at a certain point, you heard the rustle directly in front of you. And there, looking back, is this male lion who was really big and really fit. And we couldn't get enough of a look at him to determine exactly how old he was, but his body looked awfully fit and muscled up.
Could be sleeping in the riverbed.
Alex decided that we would walk in on the riverbed, and so we thought maybe we would catch them napping. And now we're walking the riverbed, and every time we'd come to a bend in the river, Alex would step out a bit, glass, step out a bit more, glass more. So we were being very careful, because they could have been around any of those bends in the river.
No, we're gonna go up here. Just up here. Just have a look, see. Maybe it didn't sound like they ran far. They could just be sitting here. How many were there? 2. I thought I saw the third one go from the side, but they say no.
And we finally got to a point where one of the trackers found track that was leading back up the hill. They had been bedded down in the river, and they had gone back up to the top of the bank and further in. And in the direction they were going is where that bait tree was, where we had originally started tracking them. And so we went back out there. He started glassing everything in the area, and he just saw the flick of an ear on the other side of the clearing.
He's gone behind the bushes there. Well, the sounds of the monkeys at the back, the baboons that are moaning at the back. He's about 100, 150 meters away.
And at that point, we went around this pan and over to the other side to see if we could get a look and see if any of the other lion were in that area. We saw some more track. We had just started to follow that up, and that big male bolted out right in front of us. He gave a bit of a growl, and the growl was evidently twofold. The younger lions had gone one way, he went the other way, and he was letting them know, I'm going this way, follow me. But he was also letting us know, all right, you've pushed this enough, now go away. But that was what I came for.
The crucible of the lion has been endured, and what frightens the brave man has been burned away. Now the only thing left to do is to return someday and seek the lion again.
This happens. That's why it's called hunting and not killing.
Yep. Anyway.
Still enjoyed it.
Me too.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Let's go get something to eat.
Yep.
But I must say, even when you get skunked, coming to a place like this, it's worth the price of admission just being here, just seeing all this stuff, just that sensation of hearing big, vicious, loud animals in the middle of the night when you're sleeping in a tent on the banks of a river like this. There are not many finer experiences in the world.